Okay, this is for the fans.
For all you chat rats, thank you for your support. Oh my gosh, get close, Nate. You want to show this. Oh my God.
Gotta do it. Oh, he's doing it.
Oh, eat it.
Jimmy.
Okay, all right.
Jimmy.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Not bad.
What the fuck is going on?
What the hell is wrong with you, dude?
It definitely brings.
Dude, he just ate 2 scoops of it. I'm puking. Ugh! I'm not even kidding. That makes my stomach feel weird. Oh my God, he's eating the whole can. He's choking it down. I'm gonna gag. I'm not even kidding. I feel uncomfortable watching you smelling that.
Is it good?
You know, it smells terrible, but it's not bad going down.
He's eating the whole damn can.
No, it tastes like chicken noodle soup, but like that's been out a few days.
I'm so fly, I'm aligned with the planes. My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, cause I'm a boss. I'll break them off, yeah, gotta break them off.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Prime Time with Alex Stein. I'm your host, Alejandro Stein, and we have a great show for you this evening. We have Lila Hart, Lauren Jameson, and we also have the United Kingdom's #1 public enemy, the one, the only Tommy Robinson, on to join us and talk about all of the conflict that's happening in his home country of the United Kingdom. But before we get to that, today is one of my favorite days of the year. Every year on August 8th, I wake up with a little, pep in my step, as I say, because for me, this is the most important day of all days. It's International Cat Day. And now, a lot of you at home might not have known that it was International Cat Day. Well, you probably don't love cats or have as bad of toxoplasmosis infection as I. But that's neither here nor there about how much I'm infected with this terrible parasite that is making me act and feel and having the emotional level of a cat. But that's neither here nor there. So I just want to celebrate my top 2 cats. Sky Bear, that's him. That's a 1986 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur. If you see that, pimp on a blimp style. And then now let's go to, that's Kyle. Now Kyle's a #2 ranked cat. He's really kind of #1 ranked cat in a weird way. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for all the great cats out there for being such great pets. And we're going to confront Lila here in a second that she eats these beautiful animals. But before we get into that, we have an incredible sponsor that I need to shout out. You guys ever heard of CastBrew Coffee? Born of a desire for a bold coffee and a need to build companies that support American values, CastBrew Coffee provides an alternative to the faceless corporate ecosystem and fosters a parallel economy that actually supports freedom. Try my own blend. Primetime Grind. Excuse me, Alex Stein's Primetime Grind. I don't even know the name of my own coffee. What am I? It's Cat Day. I'm too emotional. It's a dark roast, 100% organic ground coffee with 2 times the amount of caffeine. It's the strongest coffee known to man. CastBrew is also partnered with a toy company that sells Native American action figures in big packages. Their slogan is, I remember what my mama said, life is like a box of Choctaws. Jimmy, it's Cat Day, dude. Do not do this on Cat Day, okay?
Sorry.
Not on Cat Day. Any other day, not on International Cat Day.
Got it, my bad.
Just visit castbrew.com and use promo code PRIMETIME to save 10% off your order. And that's castbrew.com, promo code PRIMETIME. And the reason why I bring that up is also, even though Tim is one of our marquee sponsors of this show, I have a deal where I don't benefit anything from this coffee financially, and the proceeds that I would be making are going to a cat charity. I think we're going to do cat mattress in Dallas. We haven't decided. We haven't got the totals yet. But once we make that donation, just know that when you buy this coffee, I'm not even kidding, you help support those cats that need it the most. So that was kind of a big commercial, not just for the coffee, but for all you cat lovers. What are the cat lovers saying in the chat? Can we get cats in the chat? Even though I know you chat rats like to be rats, today we'll all be CastBrew cats. Okay,
we got another ad. We're getting 2
back-to-back ads. That'll make the show. I'm sure the audience loves that, Jimmy. Well, let me tell you something. Someone told me, wow, Alex, you're losing weight. Is it because you exclusively eat Taco Bell and give you constant diarrhea and therefore shedding excess water weight? And I say, yes, it is mainly water weight, but also liver health formula also helps. So many of us have a sluggish fatty liver that makes us gain weight and lose energy. For decades now, your liver has helped you with over 500 key functions every single day. It's time you help your liver. There's a solution. It's called Liver Health Formula. It's an all-natural supplement that helps recharge and protect your liver. So if you're looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost your energy, and transform how you look and feel, try Liver Health Formula today. And when you do, you get a free bottle of our blood sugar formula to help you reduce those sugar cravings. That's when you order today. If you want to look good at the beach this summer, you need to try Liver Health Formula. Try Liver Health Formula by going to getliverhelp.com/Alex and claim your free bonus gift today. That's getliverhelp.com/Alex. Tell them I sent you. Okay, now, do we have Danielly on?
Yes, we do.
Our next guest went viral for looking very attractive in a cop uniform. Please welcome on Detective Danielly De Andrade.
How are you?
Hello, Danielly. It's a pleasure to have you on the program. So, Danielly, this is my first question. I want to ask you a hard one off the bat. You went super viral, and we found out that you're a little bit of a Trump supporter. I love Donald Trump. Are you allowed to be a Trump supporter while being a detective? Like, can you have a political viewpoint? And I'm not asking that to sound ignorant, but are you allowed to be political as a police officer?
I mean, I'm a human first, right? A human being first. So of course I'm allowed to have my beliefs and my values. So yes, I support him 100%.
And I love that. And the reason why I asked that is because, so I want to get your opinion. There was a cop here, actually a sergeant in Dallas. His name's Arturo Martinez. He's a 14-year veteran of the Dallas Police Department. And he said that the assassin should have aimed better when the assassination attempt was attempted on Donald Trump. So tell me this. I'm a free speech absolutist. I think that he should have, anybody should have a right to say whatever they want, but when you're a sergeant, I think that does cross a line. So what is your opinion as a detective, as a law enforcement officer, hearing a sergeant say such a repugnant statement?
I mean, everybody is allowed to have their own opinion. I mean, in uniform, we are very, we try to be as non-political as possible. So, I mean, on my time off, and at home, I have my opinions, my beliefs, and I stick to them. In uniform, I try to be as non-political as possible. I'm there to do a job, so I don't have, we're all blue, basically. Yeah. So we do what we need to do to basically do our job. That's basically what we're there for. So
that's the.
I can't.
That's a politically correct answer, Danielly, which I respect. That we back the blue.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's play. Let's just show the viral video. Danielly, you've probably been on camera before. You're obviously a very attractive woman. Did you expect this to go as viral as it did? I mean, this is crazy. It was on everybody's timeline all day long.
No, I didn't. That was actually my second interview. I was recently just transferred to our public information office, and that was my second call that I went on, not as a detective. I was a detective before that, but as a public information officer and going in front of a camera, that was my second time. So yes, it was a bit, nerve-wracking. So I was going off of, whatever I had and whatever I could report, but I did not expect 2 days later for it to go viral, basically. So yeah, I'm very humbled.
Yeah, but Danielly, you know why that went so viral? Because most female cops look like the Secret Service officers that were trying to protect Donald Trump. Let's be real. They all kind of look like gargoyles, and that's no disrespect to you ladies out there. I'm not some stud myself, but the typical female cop looks like a WNBA player.
Well, I will say I work with the most beautiful female cops ever. I'm by far not the best looking. I will say that. There are plenty of them out there. I just like to take care of myself as a personal thing. So my mom always taught me, you have to look your best and present yourself the way you want people to see you. So that's basically.
Have you been a model? Look at these shots. Danielly, have you modeled before? Do you have a modeling background?
I did a long time ago, and then I became a police officer, so I kind of put that on the, on the back burner. Yeah, but then I started up again, and there we are. And then I'm a mom first kind of thing, a wife. So I, and I put my career first. So it's kind of like one of those things where that kind of became last. But I did it for fun, and here it is.
I know my producer's going crazy. Jimmy, how many pictures did you upload of Danielly?
No, I just was doing a lot of research.
Wait, dude, we've never had this many pictures of our guests.
Well,
Jimmy.
those were videos in my defense that she posted.
Jimmy, you're married, and so is Danielly. I don't know if her husband would appreciate this.
I'm just trying to give the viewers context of why she went viral.
Yeah, but Jimmy, we're gonna get terms of service maybe with some of these bikinis.
No, those are very tasteful. What are you talking about?
Jimmy. Well, my producer's a total perv.
Hey, I'm JVT. Well, okay. Well, that's a great segue into the producer question. So you're Brazilian. Have you
Yes, I am.
or know anyone ever competed in Miss Bum Bum? Full screen date.
No, I don't know anybody. But that's wow. Okay. No, I have not competed, and I don't know anybody that has. But,
Well, can you
pretty
weigh
sure
in on
that-
these fake butt accusations?
Yeah, is that cheating if you performance enhance your derriere, in your opinion, Danielly, or should it only be natural derrieres that get judged?
I will say it's. I mean, obviously, a judge in Brazil, it's basically natural for us. So
So it needs to be
it's
natural.
what Brazilian women are known for. I mean, I believe so. I mean, my personal opinion, but you know,
Well, enough with those
that's up
questions.
to everybody's.
No, yeah, that's some people's preference. I saw a clip of these people at a BBL clinic, and all of the women had to lie on their stomach. They couldn't sit down on their derrieres because they just had surgery. It's a viral video. But let's talk about your life, your line of work. It has to be very challenging. So tell us the situation. I mean, I know you probably have a million stories, but was there a time when you're like, I'm not going to be accepted? Am I going to do this? Was it during the police force? Because I'm sure there had to be very hard being a woman in a male-dominated business. It takes a lot of moxie. So how did you get past that? Because I'm sure there's a bunch of times you probably wanted to quit. I hope I'm not speculating too much.
No, like honestly, I work for an amazing department. So right off the bat, you have to work hard. You can't quit. And as long as you don't quit, I mean, you're one of them, you know, and you make a name for yourself. You're not lazy. You do your work, go to your calls, and do the best you can. We all have families. You know, we're basic people, you know, that want to go home at night. So we have each other's back basically every time. And that's it. And you make a name for yourself like that. So I love the guys I work with, the guys and girls. Obviously, it's a more male dominated, but I have a bunch of brothers out there that if I call, I know they'd come. So.
Well, I really have to ask you this. Why can't we get you to work for Secret Service for Donald Trump? He loves beautiful women. I mean, you're obviously well-spoken. He likes that. He needs good communicators.
Yeah.
I mean, how could we get you on the Secret Service instead of having those
my gosh.
Melissa McCarthy impersonators?
I mean, everybody. I mean, I don't know. I mean, anybody in that scenario. I don't want to like Monday morning quarterback them, obviously, but anybody in that scenario, obviously, you know, they have a tough job to defend him and to protect him. I would love to meet him, and I would love to like be on his Secret Service detail, obviously, but I've been here for almost 16 years in Hollywood. I have a little bit to go, but. Until retirement, but yeah, that would be a dream come true to even get to meet him. So,
well, luckily, I'm good friends with the Trump family. I'm going to put in a good word. I can't promise anything, but I'm going to make it my mission to get you to protect Donald Trump because these people in Secret Service. What do you think about that? I mean, I know we don't ask you too much controversial questions, and you know is a tough thing, but the fact that our president almost was assassinated, and they say they're going to do that again. I mean, does that scare you as a police officer, knowing that our president is that vulnerable?
Yeah, it does. I mean, honestly, he deserves the best protection. I mean, it's hard, you know, you have to trust the people that are protecting you. I know that there are great men and women out there, that are doing their job. It would be like somebody speculating me trying to protect a special detail that I was on, you know, and I made a mistake because they are human. So as long as they have the right frame of mind and they're trying to do the right thing, I respect them for that. But it is scary because we need him. Like we need him. Like he needs to 2024, you know,
we need it.
Office,
I love Donald Trump. Yeah. Love the Trump family. Okay, now we got to ask you, we got to play a controversial clip. This is a comedian name. It's not too controversial, but it's a little, but it's you'll probably disagree with it. This guy, Sam Hyde, he's one of the world's most famous comedians. Well, I guess he's famous in a countercultural world. Like he's, you know, he once had a big time show on Adult Swim and he's been canceled, but he's one of the most brilliant comedians out there. And he has a video. This video has millions and millions and millions of hits. And it's such a funny video, but I wanted to show you it and get your initial reaction. So let's play that. SOT number 7.
Okay.
If you ever catch the eye of a female cop, hope you wore your bulletproof vest. Hope you got your vest on, man. I am praying for you, unironically, because that gun on her waist at some point is going to accidentally go off. She's going to draw it out thinking it's a taser. She's going to have her finger on the trigger before she's ready to fire.
The officer drew their handgun instead of their taser.
Something you did made her feel threatened. You're taller than her. She feels threatened for her life. The only recourse she has physically is to shoot you.
This was an accidental discharge.
I just hope that if you ever get pulled over by a woman, you're wearing a fucking bulletproof vest and a Kevlar helmet. I hope you're decked out like a PUBG character, because that's what you need to survive a female cop encounter.
What do you say to my friend Sam? Do you disagree with those statements?
Yeah, I do disagree with him. I mean, that's his opinion. He's allowed to have one. But we train like quarterly and we're constantly training on our own time. So, I mean, it's up to the person. I mean, people make mistakes. I'd say try to go do our job.
Nobody can. And Danielle, your job is so hard, and it really, you do not get enough credit. Like, you put yourself in such dangerous situations. So I have the utmost respect for law enforcement. But you know, that video has like millions of memes, and people talk about it because he made that video, and then like a week later, there was a female cop that meant to bring out her taser. It was like he predicted it almost. So people make mistakes.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I guess the last thing, do you think America is having more respect for law enforcement or less respect? I think it's less respect, but what do you think? Like, is it trending in less respect or more respect?
I would say, I mean, in our community, we try to do like community involvement and try to show people that basically, listen, we're here for you guys. We're one of you. Basically, we're human beings too, you know, and we try to humanize as possible. We still go to work every day, just like you do. There's bad in everything that you know, in any profession. But we're parents, we're educators. So I just hope people respect us for being human, you know, and, you know, we just have a job to do.
A hard job.
We're not bad guys.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, it's not for everybody. The things we see every day, and then we have to come home and kind of turn it off and then go cook dinner and get homework and, you know, get your kids to like practices and stuff. It's difficult. It's not the same thing, you know, as certain other professions. And I'm not knocking them. It's just harder to come home after you've seen somebody pass away or have to notify somebody that their family member just died or things like that. So I believe it's different.
It's crazy you said that. It's not crazy. But, Jimmy, do we have the pictures of me graduating the Citizen Police Academy?
We do, actually. Let me get
So
that
a little
full
bit about
screen
me,
9.
Danielle, is I'm a graduate. That's Eddie Garcia, the chief of police here in Dallas. I'm actually a graduate of the Dallas Citizens Police Academy. It was a 12-week...
Look at you.
Yes, it's a 12-week program. But that is what the detectives said was the hardest part. They said the narcotics department was sometimes fun, but really hard. But they said the notification of family members is the hardest part of the job, telling somebody their loved one is dead. So that's something you've had to do multiple times?
A couple of times, and just even seeing scenes that like of a child not surviving, like being pulled out of a pool, and then having to go home to your kids is just it's heart-wrenching.
Okay,
So
last thing, because that's so sad. I don't even want to think about this.
Well, I've got an uplifting
What? No,
question.
let me ask this, Jimmy, real
Okay.
quick. You're in Hollywood, Florida. We love it. Great area.
Yes.
You're just, you know, at dinner. Why everybody's smoking weed in Florida? It's not legal in Florida. What's that all about? Why don't they bust people? I feel like do people get busted for weed in Florida? You go to the beach, everybody smells like weed now in this day and age.
we have the most amazing beach unit in Hollywood, so they're constantly on their bikes. They're constantly doing things to prevent certain things. I mean, if somebody calls it in, obviously we're going to investigate, but it's like a lot of people for the cop population kind of situation.
You can't.
So you can't control everybody, but if people call it in or if a crime is being committed, our beach guys are amazing. You know, there's constant arrests on the beach, and we're keeping it safe so that people can come visit and they feel safe. You know, that's just basically how it is.
And Hollywood, Florida is a great place. Been on a lot of vacations there. So
Beautiful.
Danielle,
Yeah, beautiful boardwalk.
thank you so much for joining us. Jimmy, what did you want to say to her?
Well, I was saying, you know, back to the viral thing.
What?
I'm sure you got a lot of crazy messages. So did anyone say anything hilarious? Like,
I'm sure she got some perverted messages, Jimmy.
I just want to hear an example. Like, did they say, "Oh, I'm going to go to Hollywood and pray for police brutality" or something crazy like that? Something really inappropriate.
Jimmy, stop.
I did. Honestly, the videos, I still am getting videos. There's like multiple different ones that are being created. I'm very humbled, by the way, by the whole thing. I did not expect that. I didn't like ask for that, but they're pretty funny. Like, be right back, going to commit crimes in Hollywood. Like, you know, different things that I was like, okay, that one's pretty funny.
Any celebrities in your DMs?
Yeah, Jimmy said he was going to go to the Hollywood Boardwalk and hope to run around naked, and you would arrest him for public indecency. That's what he said.
Listen, if he is there, I'll definitely show up to report on that for sure.
Okay,
I will
cool.
definitely show up.
Sweet. All right, new content.
All right, Danielly,
Yes.
thank you so much. Everybody,
Thank you, guys.
go support Danielly. Thank you for putting your life on the line every day. We really appreciate that. And you know what? I
Thank
don't
you.
think that's the last time you'll go viral. I have a feeling, I'm just my gut feeling, I think you're going to be one of the more famous cops in the Hollywood Police Department for
Oh, awesome. Thank
foreseeable
you.
future. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Talk to you guys. Bye.
All right, now, guys, the cover-up. The pandemic may be behind us, but the social and economic ramifications still affect us today. We refuse to allow them to distract us and make us forget what they did to us. That's why in episode 2 of the cover-up, Matt Kibbe and Senator Rand Paul uncover the truth behind the origins of COVID, the lies and crimes of Dr. Anthony Fauci, and work to expose who is protecting him. Senator Paul's relentless pursuit of truth will reveal the insanity behind gain-of-function research. The people responsible will never be held accountable. From his contentious hearings with Fauci to his attempts to expose agencies like the NIH and DOD, Senator Paul has made it his mission to find out why the government is funding dangerous research and bringing to light the lies that completely damaged our nation. This is personal. Our lives were forever changed by their deception, and together we intend to make sure that it never happens again. To watch the latest installment of the series, go to FauciCoverup.com/Stein and use the code FauciLied to get $30 off an annual subscription. Go check it out, guys. All right, now we got to bring on our 2 guests. We have 2 lovely ladies. We didn't want to have too much ladies on there because we didn't want to make Daniela feel uncomfortable with all these ladies. But why don't you guys come on down? I want to welcome on, you know her. She's a regular, Lila Hart, Spiny Biffid Abadi, and Lauren Jameson. Come here. Oh my gosh, am I saying that right? I feel like, is it Jameson? Like the liquor?
Like the whiskey, baby.
I know, I just want to make sure I'm saying that right, because I feel like I say Jameson wrong. That's why everybody says J-Mo.
J-Mo. Yeah, it's my name.
You want to say Jameson, or I don't know, what do people, how do they mispronounce it? Do they
They don't ever mispronounce it, they just misspell it, because they spell it like the whiskey.
And it's spelled, that's why it's different.
Jam is on.
Yes, that's why I'm
on.
See, that's why I was having issues. See, and I'm an idiot. I read it at 6th grade level. Okay, Lila, we're about to welcome on an incredible guest, but real quick, we have to talk about what the hell were you doing with these tiny Tinder girls in Washington?
No, it was I was with the Micro Maidens.
Mm-hmm.
Micro Maidens. I'm the opening act for. I do stand-up comedy, and then I bring out the little people performers, and it's just an exciting show. And if you get the chance to come to one of the shows, check it out. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm the tallest one in the group.
Yeah, she is. And one of the people in the group is 2'10", and the 2'10" person gets naked. Is that correct?
Well, not necessarily.
Topless?
It just depends. That is actually Sassy Cassie. She's one of my best friends. She is the world's smallest stripper, standing at 2'10". Yes. She is very strong. I mean, she's incredible.
Where does she strip? The clubhouse on 35?
Yeah,
she travels all over the country.
That's the ones that make money travel a lot. The ones that okay. And then Lauren, we brought you on. Obviously, you're a comedian. You're based in Austin now. She also went to school here in Dallas. But us 3, if you guys want to come see us live in person this Saturday at Hyenas Comedy Club in Fort Worth, the tickets are on my social media, on my Instagram. It's on Lauren's. It's on Lila's. Make sure to come hang out with us and see us live. Okay, now, what else we want to talk about before? Do you guys know anything about Tommy Robinson?
Tommy Robinson.
No. He's like... Tommy Robinson is a...
How tall is he?
He's pretty tall. He's not that tall, but he's not short. He's probably average height. I say he's probably 5'10". But right now, he is... arguably, Jimmy, would you say that he is the UK's #1 wanted man at the moment? Is that the best?
I introduced him as the most banned journalist in Britain.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy does journalism, but I feel like he's almost more of an activist. Do we have Tommy on? Is he here?
Yeah, he's ready.
Oh, let's bring him on. Guys, we now welcome on the most banned journalist in Britain. Please welcome on Tommy. Tommy, welcome to the show, my friend. Such an honor to have you.
5'10", I'll take that. I'm only 5'6".
Oh, you're only 5'6". We were in London together. I can't ever remember. But Tommy, you have the bravado of a 6'10" guy, and the government probably scared of you like you're a 6'10" guy. Tell me about this. Tell me what's going on. these Muslim people that are going and overtaking the UK, we're having a similar problem with Venezuelans. Is it worse in the UK because it's much more concentrated than what we're going through in America, or do you think it's about the same?
No, it's far worse. It's far worse because the culture is very different. The ideology is different. When I hear Americans moaning about open border immigration, when you've had Mexicans, I think you have no idea.
Yeah, because Mexicans are cool. Sorry, Tommy. I say, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, Mexicans usually aren't that bad, except for the ones that kill people. The other ones aren't that bad. Go ahead, sorry.
But what you've let through your borders over the last 4 years under Joe Biden is Pakistanis, Afghans, Iraqis, Syrians. There's a big problem. You have no idea the problem that's coming. The rape culture, the hostility, the supremacy from their ideology. So that's what you're seeing. What you're seeing now is an explosion of a fed-up British public who are made to feel like it's not their country anymore. We've been silent, oppressed. Our police treat us differently. Our girls and our women have been raped in every town and city up and down the country. The hotels are being filled with migrants. People can't get doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. Everything's going towards these migrants who are not checked, they're not vetted. They've killed, they've murdered, and they've raped since coming into our country. And people have had enough. People are sick to death. You've seen that resentment covering up the problem, which is what the authorities have done, doesn't solve the problem. It builds resentment, it builds anger. You're seeing the anger spill over.
And it's at a boiling point now, though. Tommy, you're basically the public enemy number one. They're trying to blame you for all sorts of riots. And really, you are probably the biggest activist right now in the UK, in my opinion. So is that why they want to take you out, because of your activism? Or do they actually think you're some sort of criminal because they don't believe you have the rights to do what you're doing?
No, Alex, Great Britain's on the verge of a cultural revolution. On the 1st of June, our first event, on the 1st of June, we had a massive rally in London where 30,000 people turned up and 870,000 people watched it live on X. We then had our second one on the 27th of July and 100,000 people turned up. It was the biggest gathering of patriots London's ever seen. And we had a cultural celebration, we had a festival of music, but we also sent a message to the establishment. The message to the establishment was, this is David versus Goliath, and David's had enough. David's ready to fight. David, there's more of us than there are of you. You've took our freedoms, you've took the safety for our women, you've took the safety for our daughters. We're fed up of feeling like aliens in our own towns and cities. You're not replacing us. We're not becoming minorities without having something to say about it. That was totally peaceful, Alex. 100,000 people, totally peaceful. The next day I went to the border to travel out of the UK. I was detained under terrorism legislation. I was detained, and the terrorism legislation that they say is, we're holding you under the instigation and preparation of acts of terrorism. Don't worry, we know you're not doing that, but these powers we have allow us now to ask you questions for 6 hours. They're allowed 6 hours, and you do not have the right to remain silent. It's like, I don't have the right to remain silent. They take, so under this...
So you have to answer the questions? You have to answer, what does that mean?
You have to, or you breach terrorism legislation. If not, you'll be charged as a terrorist. And the reason these powers are brought in, they were brought in case they know there's going to be a terrorist attack. They know he's involved, so they arrest him. He has to tell you. And if he doesn't tell you, he gets sentenced for terrorism anyway. So that's why they're brought in. And here they are using them on a British journalist who hasn't broken any law. And then they're sitting me down for 6 hours asking me questions about, how do I think I'll stop the Great Replacement? Who's working with me on my movement? What's my next target? What's my next documentary? It's like, why are you questioning me about my lawful behaviour? You're infringing on my rights, and you have to answer every question. They asked me about Palestine. Why can't Palestine have their own state? What's your opinion of that? What's your opinion of this? But in the middle of it all, their main thing was this. So they took the phone. Now you have to give us your PIN code, and we're going to download every bit of data off your phone. I said, I'm not giving you my PIN code. I'm not giving you my PIN code. You'll be arrested and charged under the Terrorism Act unless you give us your PIN code. And this is when they talk, they said, what do you think of the UK? I said, I'll be honest, it's a tyrannical shithole now. You've ruined it. And they said, well, what makes you say that? You're holding me here with no crime, no suspicion of a crime. You're breaching every one of my rights. You're taking my phone. And then when it comes to, obviously I'm a full-time journalist, so I explained to them, the sources of information who give me my information are protected as a journalist. We've had grooming gangs who have raped their way through our entire nation. To the ladies who are listening, to your audience who are listening, 90% of convictions from groups of men who rape little children are Muslim men. 30% of the men convicted are called Mohammeds, 30%. Muslim
Wait,
men only
slow
make up
down.
2.5%.
30% of the men convicted of rape, their name happens to be Muhammad. What? I mean, that's probably a rough estimate. That's way too much.
It's a fact.
That's insane.
It's a fact. Well, Muslim men make up 2.5% of the UK. So you're not allowed to ask the question, why? Why aren't the Sikhs doing it? Why aren't the Hindus doing it? Why aren't the Jews doing it? Why have all these other communities come into the country, embraced it? The Jamaicans, all the different communities, they've embraced it and loved it and become part of it. But one group, whether it be Pakistanis, Iraqis, one group have come in, isolated themselves, segregated themselves. They don't wish to assimilate, they wish to dominate. So, and with the rape statistics, Alex, I've done a 5-part series. I ask any of you to watch it. It's called The Rape of Britain. I spent 12 to 18 months with survivors of these rapes, and I chose the town of Telford. The reason I chose Telford, there was a police investigation that identified 1,000 victims, 5 of them are dead. The police investigation identified 200 men that had been involved in the rapes. I went up there. I spent 12 to 18 months getting to know the girls, hearing their stories, building an investigation and a database. There's only 3,500 Muslims in that town. Get rid of the women, get rid of the under-16s. Once you break it down, there's 1,000 Muslim men. Out of 1,000 Muslim men, the police identified 200 that were raping. We identified 254. An independent inquiry identified over 300. So between 20 to 30% of the men in that town were raping and prostituting and gang raping English children. That's not a small number. This is a massive problem. And this is happening in every town and city across our country. Every town and city. And we're supposed to just shut up. We're supposed to just shut up.
And they get the social services over you. And, a lot of people obviously criticize Israel. They call them colonizers, but Muslims are colonizing all of Europe. So, I mean, where do you think that double standard is where, they're going and trying to colonize the UK, basically?
When I was born in 1982 in my hometown, there was one mosque. There's now 45. White English were a minority. Pakistani Muslims make up 50% of the town. That's a blueprint for every town and city. That's the blueprint. That is the demographical change. I think white English are 33% of London now. Should we accept this? Should we as Englishmen, should we just accept the Islamic takeover of our nation? Especially with all the crimes and problems that come up with it. We've had 50,000 British children have been victims of female genital mutilation.
Oh my God.
The cutting off of the clitoris. Little young girls, and they cut their clitorises off, damaged them forever. 50,000 British girls. Now, that's been against the law since the 1980s, and it carries a 14-year prison sentence. Do you know how many people have been prosecuted for it and sent to prison? The first person last year.
Wow.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because if they prosecuted the parents who are doing it, that alone would fill every single prison place there is in the country. So certain problems from certain cultures are ignored and allowed. Same with the rape gangs, as I just said. 200 men were identified. They prosecuted 11. In Telford. Do you know how many Muslim girls have been raped by groups of Englishmen? Not one. There's not one single case in the whole country. But we're meant to be the aggressors. We're called far right. We're called racist. These girls are literally getting called dirty white slags whilst they're being raped. They're hanging their country's flag over the little girls whilst raping them. They're calling them dirty gullah, white girl. They're making all these comments, calling them dirty kafar. One of the girls was murdered, and before he murdered her, the day before, he messaged his friend, said, I'm going to bury that filthy kafar. They're not even getting charged of hate crimes for these crimes. Some of these, Alex, I know, I take every opportunity because I know I've got an American audience. It'll be a new audience. So you can really understand in the United States what's coming your way. Yeah, one girl in Oxford, you think of Oxford, you think of the best university in the world.
Of course.
Not anymore. Not anymore, okay? In Oxford, with the grooming gangs, a young 12-year-old girl, they heated up a hot iron rod with the letter M, and they scolded her bum with the letter M because she was the property of Muhammad. They took another girl. And
was she a white girl? Wait, Tommy, was it a white girl or was it another Muslim girl?
They're all white. Well, no, they're all white. They're all white, well, majority white, but some are Sikh, some are Hindu. They're not Muslim. They're all non-Muslim girls. And part of it is about destroying our daughters. That's part of it. And it's happened, Alex, in every town and city from one end of the country to the other. Every single town and city. Remember, I first come on the scene in 2009 screaming about this. I was called a far-right football hooligan agitator. And then by 2015, we'd forced the point so much they had to start arresting them. And then in 2015, a government in-depth study found that Rotherham police knew it was happening, 1,400 victims in Rotherham, but they were too scared to do anything because they didn't want to be called racist, because all the perpetrators were Muslim and all the victims were young English girls. So when anyone thinks of how powerful is political correctness, it literally paralysed a police force across our whole country to allow the prostitution, rape and torture of little girls. And it happened to my cousin, and they talk about these girls like they're statistics. They're not statistics, that's our daughters. That's our daughters you're talking about. I sit and watch them talk about on TV, politicians. They talk about them like they're little numbers. They're not numbers, they're our daughters. They've destroyed them, they've raped them. And my 5-part series shows in each episode, we tell the story of one survivor, and then we go after the men. It's exciting footage, because once the men are named by more than 3 girls, once they're named by 3 girls that don't know each other, they become a star of our episode. We go into their businesses.
Is that the documentary that has 38 million, Tommy? Because that's a different one. The one that's at 39 million?
The one it's now on 40 million. The one that has 40 million is, there was a news story, and America, this story ain't about Tommy Robinson, because it's about the weaponisation of the judiciary. It's what they've done to Steve Bannon, what they've done to Donald Trump. I've caught it all on camera, start to finish, covert recordings. I've showed that an entire news story was false. They created a news story to push an open border immigration policy. I challenged it as being a lie. They took me through the courts. They bankrupt me for £1.6 million. When I produced to the judge covert recordings, statements, videos, proving the whole thing was set up, proving it was a lie, he gave me an injunction. And in that injunction, it said that if I ever show the public this evidence, I get 2 years in jail. Alex, that was 3 years ago. I bottled it. I failed myself as a journalist. I failed myself as an Englishman. I should have come out of that court and played that film. I didn't, because 2 years in jail for me means possible death.
And you've been in and out of jail constantly, and people don't realize the jails are full of Muslim guys that hate your guts. Tommy, you go to some restaurants in a Muslim neighborhood, they'll come attack you when you're having lunch with your family. So I understand living in that, unknown of what do I do to help not just save me, but my family.
Our prisons are ISIS training camps. In America, you need to wake this up as well, because they'll be converting the blacks in your prisons. They'll be turning people.
They already are. Assalamu alaikum. There is a big Islam brotherhood. I mean, that is already happening.
It's only going to get bigger. You need to control the imams, you need to control the influence, you need to control the prisons. Because most people in prison have been wrong their whole life. They've started with nothing. So they've been wrong their whole life, and Islam turns it and makes them fight against America, makes them fight against the system. That's what's happening here. We have 800, MI5 identified 800 prisoners a year who are coming out radicalised and extreme, potential terrorists every year from our prison system. They're building an army through the prison system. But my film that I made my film. The judge stopped me doing it. And for 3 years, Alex, it ate me up. It ate me up that I didn't release that film. I should have released the film. I'm holding on to a grenade that absolutely destroys the judiciary. It shows that it's corrupt. And I've watched the court cases on Donald Trump, and I've watched it on Steve Bannon. I've seen Alex Jones get hit for £1 billion. Mm-hmm. I've got the evidence of how they operate, all of them together. And then when I held my rally on the 27th of July, I had 100,000 people there, nearly 1 million people watching on live. And I just thought, let the world see it. Let the world see it. And now I'm wanted. I'm currently wanted.
Well, that was the crazy
in prison.
Because they didn't expect that outpouring of support. I mean, you guys shut down the city. That was insane. But I have to ask you this. I want to play this clip. You've been getting hate from people like Piers Morgan. You've been getting, you've been getting a lot of hate from people that you would think that are actually kind of on your side. So this clip by Piers Morgan is very interesting. I want to get your opinion on it because it sounds like he's on your side, that it's not. I just want to get your reaction from it. So let's play SOT number 13.
So a white supremacist anti-Semite, Nick Fuentes, blames Zionist plants for amplifying and directing these riots, and you retweet it.
Do you know who he's talking about when he says that? He's talking about Tommy Robinson, who's openly this. Do you believe Tommy Robinson incited these things? Because if you do, you agree with Nick Fuentes. You have just been sitting here saying they've been pushing.
Sorry, just to be clear.
This whole interview. So you just fell into the exact same trap. You agree exactly with what Nick just said. You agree with that.
You've answered the question.
You agree with Fuentes. You do.
No need for
you are an anti.
So that's a viral video, Tommy. But so he doesn't like you. Nick Fuentes, I guess, doesn't like you. I mean, what's going on? Can you explain what that video is all about?
In my documentary that's on 40 million views, Piers Morgan gets exposed as a total fraud. So, and he's confronted in a video afterwards. So Piers Morgan goes on TV. There's a story where a little 15-year-old boy pours a bottle of water on another 15-year-old boy. Piers Morgan goes on TV and demands severe retribution against the child without knowing what's gone on, why he's poured a bottle of water on him. So he doesn't know why. We find out that it's because the refugee boy threatened to rape the kid's 9-year-old sisters. It's all in the documentary. But Piers Morgan incites hate against the child. The child gets death threats, tries to kill himself. So obviously 40 million people have watched this video this week. And Piers Morgan's getting bombarded with people calling him out because he's not a journalist, yeah? He's a total fraud. He went with a story about knowing about it, and he instigated violence against a child. It's unforgivable when you watch what he's done. So obviously he's got a problem because I've just put that in the documentary and exposed him. Do you know what he said today, Alex? He said today, I'm speaking to a lawyer. He said to Andrew Tate in that clip, Tommy Robinson has instigated the violence and encouraged attacks against mosques. Now, what he doesn't realise, what none of them realise, they had the monopoly for 5 years when I didn't have a platform. I've now got a platform. So I've just gone through all my videos on X where I've spoke about the riots, put them all together. All I'm saying is remain calm, stop the violence, be safe, love and harmony, don't be attacking police officers. It's like literally the total opposite of what they're telling everyone is what I've said and done. But that doesn't matter when you've got the propaganda of every single mainstream media. Alex, I've felt attacked. I've been attacked over the years. I've never felt what I feel now. Obviously, they didn't like 100,000 people on the street. They didn't like that 100,000 would become 250,000. Britain is ready. The public are ready. There is a cultural revolution brewing like never before. I know it. I sense it. I feel it. I feel the energy of the people. The people are awake. They're demanding their country back. We want our country back. We're fed up of watching what's happening to it, and people are ready for something which is now what's worried them. That's why since then now there's a major attack on me. Every day I'm seeing lies.
I know,
lies.
And Tommy, and this is why I agree with you too. You can see that there's been some London people that are putting out fake protests, and so the Muslim people are going there in droves, thinking it's a real protest. Like they are mobilized in a way that's almost like an army. You know, like they're I'm just saying. Somebody just put a tweet. We're meeting here. It was a decoy. They're doing decoy protests, and they're saying that the Muslims are attacking the cops at the decoy protests.
So what they done? There was an outpouring of the British public in every town and city across the country. 100,000 people on the streets with us. They turned it into far right. So then the media started saying far right riots. And they said last night there was 100 far right riots planned. Total hoax. There was none planned. Total hoax. And then they got all the left and they got all the Muslims out in the streets. And now their message today is we defeated them. You didn't defeat anyone. There was no one out. There was no one to defeat. You created this situation and now they want more law. Now our prosecutor stood on TV today and said, if you share footage of the riots, you could face prosecution.
If you retweet it, right? Didn't they say even if you retweet it? Yeah.
If you retweet it, you'll face. Now, why is that? I'll tell you why that is, because for 7 days, all the media showed everyone was English people rioting. What they didn't show you was the mobilisation of Muslim armies in every town and city with swords, baseball bats and poles, beating people and English people across the country. We showed everyone that. That's why they hate us, because if they control every other platform, they control everything. That's why today a leading Scottish politician has said Elon Musk is the biggest danger to the world, because they can't allow freedom of speech. Because of freedom of speech, the public will see it challenges their narrative. It also challenges their failed policies of open border mass immigration. It doesn't work. Brushing this problem under the carpet is not going to work. You've mixed oil and water, and you're trying to continue doing it. And the public.
What's the solution, Tommy? Though, are we going to have to? I mean, mass deportation? Is that what you're looking for? Would that be the only answer in your opinion?
The Daily Mail run a headline of me on holiday this week. They come and dox where I was. And do you know what
I saw that. No, guys, they sent reporters at his hotel. They were all waiting out. Everybody needs to go look at that tweet. I think that tweet's at 7 million. But they were stalking you at your hotel.
Stalking me and my kids. I'm with my children. And they located where we were and they put out where we were. So then there was videos being made by Muslims saying, go to the hotel. I've left. I'm not there. I was there for 2 weeks with my kids. I lasted 3 days because then my kids were all in danger. And the reporters doxed. They give the location of where we were. But they run the headline. Bearing in mind, all I've done is call for calm and peace. They run the headline that I'd stoked the riots. And do you know the only example, because there is no evidence, the example they gave of my controversial tweet that stoked the riots was mass deportations needed. That's it. I said mass deportations needed. They blamed me for stoking riots across the country from that tweet. Now, I'm not going to apologise for that tweet. Mass deportations are needed. You've brought in people who are hostile to our nation. We want safety for our daughters. I'll be honest, the people in Afghanistan are not my number one priority. people in Great Britain are, and certainly our women are. We need to protect our women, and they're not protected and they're not safe. They're getting raped every single day by men that shouldn't be here. Those men have come through 16 safe countries to get here. They're economic migrants. There's no women and children. If the hotels are full of women and children, this would be a different conversation, but they're not.
I do think it's weird, Tommy. I do think it's weird in their culture that the women have to be totally covered so that the men are not enticed by them sexually. I think that's very bizarre. And then they go to a country like the UK, which is a fashion-forward place where girls, you know, they're going to dress nice, and that's enough to entice a person to rape another human being. That's the most disgusting thing I could even imagine. I just can't believe that's the reality that we're facing, or that you're facing, especially.
It's the reality in every town and city, Alex. And not just the reality, but we're paying for it. People don't have the money, and yet the hotels are full. You haven't got the money for the heating allowance for old age pensioners, but you've got the money to continue flooding our nation. They keep talking about what they've done successfully with this whole manufactured crisis with 100 riots that were never happening anyway. They've built this big picture, and they've managed to not talk about the issues. They've not talked about open border immigration. They've not talked about any of it because they've just gone far-right racist, which takes away the need to have a discussion. So rather than saying the British public are angry in every town and city, we've got to talk about why they're angry. Just far-right racists, and then no one has to have a discussion. We don't have to talk about the cause of it. When Black Lives Matter rioted, the discussion was, why are they so angry? We have to address why they're angry. When the English were rioting, one bloke today got 26 months for shouting aggressively at the police. 26 months for shouting aggressively at the police.
That's ridiculous. Just yelling at the cops. I mean, what do you think about this? Them, and I know you know a lot about American politics, but they didn't pick Shapiro to be the running mate for Harris because supposedly he was Jewish, but they did pick Waltz, who lives in Minnesota, which is Ilhan Omar's, you know, Islamic territory. What do you think about that? Is that done on purpose to appease the people, or to let in, open the floodgates for more people that are terrorizing London and all of UK, excuse me?
But that's all we see. And the whole Jewish thing, that's what the people have a pop about me about. I don't hate Jews. That makes me a Zionist.
Yeah.
England comes first to me before anything in the world. My country comes first. Okay. Yeah. I just happen to see the reality. When they murdered 1,400 Jews on October 7th, when they done an onslaught and raped and pillaged 1,400 Jews, look how emboldened they were across the entire West. Look how confident they were in the universities, in the mosques. They were screaming for the destruction of the state of Israel, calling for jihad. What does anyone, and their leaders come out the next day. They say Saturday first, then comes Sunday. I just realised it's the Jews first, then it's us. Their leaders come out the next day, not me, don't need to listen to what I say. Hamas's leaders come out the next day and said, Europe's next. We're coming for Europe. If they killed 1,400 and look how excited they got, what do you think it would be like if they destroyed Israel and took Israel, raped all the women and pillaged? You think they're stopping there? You think they're stopping there?
No,
they're coming straight from
Tommy, and I go to these protests. You've been to them too. You know something's going to happen at one of these pro-Palestine protests. You know that's. I don't know how to explain it, but I've been to Black Lives Matter. I've been to trans protests. It's like palpable, the energy of wanting something to happen. They want something bad to happen. I have no doubt. I think something bad is going to happen at a Palestinian protest here in America, like we had when Netanyahu spoke. But I think it's going to be really bad. A bomb. I don't know what. I mean, maybe make a plane crash.
A school. Coming. That's what they're going to target. A school. I first started my activism about 2003, I think it was it? When the Beslan school massacre. Everyone had their moment that woke them up. There was a Beslan school massacre. Lots of jihadis took the school in Chechnya. Took control of the school, and I can still see it. All the parents come outside the school, the jihadists are inside, they've got control of the school, and then they start butchering and killing the kids. And no one can go in. So the parents are all dropping on their knees, and they can hear the kids screaming. And I watched this, and when I watched it, I was only young. I watched it and thought, that's not one man that's done that. That's the whole group of people. What ideology can they share that makes all of them think that's acceptable? That's when I opened my eyes to Islam. That's when I started trying to understand what this was. As I said, we've just had there was an arrest yesterday. They were planning to blow up the Taylor Swift concert in Austria.
Yeah.
It was a Taylor Swift dance lesson where these little kids just got stabbed up in England, where they murdered 3 children.
Yeah, that was a Taylor Swift. So you're right. They're going to attack a school or a Taylor Swift type event, Tommy. Wow.
They've already found some jihadists were stopped with plans. It was for a school in London, a Jewish school. Yeah, they've already done it in France. They've gone into a school to kill kids. It's coming sometime in the future. Maybe that'll be the moment that wakes everyone up. Britain is awake. That's what I'm confident. I sit here confidently saying the situation's bad, but the public are now awake. 10 years ago, it was still bad. We were trying to wake them up, but no one wanted to listen. No one wanted to have this conversation. Now everyone needs this conversation. The reason my figures have gone through the roof, my reach is through the roof on X, is because people needed it. We were censored for 5 years, and no one was saying what needed to be said. Now we come along, and now they want to censor it. They want to try and take out Elon Musk.
Well, Tommy, before you go, I really love that you're actually standing up to this system, to this horrible globalist agenda. And, you know, people should go and protest. That's why the government doesn't like you, because you're actually going out on the street. You're encouraging people to speak up for themselves. And the government hates that more than anything. So you're doing the right thing. I don't want to see you get in trouble. I don't want to see you get hurt, but I really respect it. And I know you're not going to stop. But I just want you to just keep grinding, do whatever you can to be safe. And before you go, I guess this is the last thing I want to say. I saw a clip of Sharon Osbourne and Bill Maher saying that the UK went from 34% white, went from 64% white to 34% white in the last 15 years, I believe. So in 15 years, what do you think it's going to be like? And then how can people support you and find you before you go?
If we don't stop it now, we've lost our nation. This is the most important pivotal point in Europe's history. We have 1,000 years of Christian culture in England, 1,000 years. They've given it away in 60 or 70 through absolute cowardice. They bend their knee to every ideology that wants to bring destruction to our nation. Black Lives Matter, Marxism, Islam, they're fearful of all of them. Well, the public aren't. And we're not going to be silent anymore. And that's what's brewing. And that's why I see, unfortunately, Alex, I think I'll be in a prison cell in the coming future. What I ask people is, when they do that, I ask people, speak out, watch that film. That film proves categorically the corruption of the judiciary. Is that if they're going to imprison me, let the world see the truth. They said, what I done on July 27th, they think they're putting me on trial. I put the judiciary of Great Britain on trial. It's now on trial for the world to watch. Send me to jail and let the world know how corrupt you are. And I'm not going to go into the court and apologise or beg for forgiveness. I'm going to go into court and ask the judge, if you sentence me, you're corrupt as well. You're all corrupt. The public have seen the truth. It's a total lie. You now infringe and you abuse laws and you manipulate laws in order to silence dissident voices. And unfortunately, they have to try and set an example of someone like me, because if they don't, more people, it's a touchy subject for them, because if they make me a martyr, they'll create 1,000 Tommy Robinsons.
Yeah, I know.
We're not backing down. We're not backing down. There's zero chance.
And everybody needs to go follow you. We got thousands of people watching right now. Our stream's bumping. Thank you so much, Tommy, for making time right now. And then what do you want people to do? Just follow you and watch the documentary? Is that the best way they can support?
It is, yeah. And I've currently got a counter-terrorism charge on October 25th, a court case at the High Court where they're doing me for this film. If anyone can support us on that, it's helptommy.com. Helptommy.com for our legal battles. But we do incredible work. I'm not just saying it. The reason why they hate me is I am the best investigative journalist in the UK, and I didn't go to some private school, which upsets me.
Yeah, that's why you're smarter. You didn't get indoctrinated. Tommy, keep fighting the good fight. Thank you so much for making time for us. We had a great time in London, and please, I want to have you on. I know everybody wants you to have you on their show, but anytime, anything I can do to help, please don't ever hesitate to ask. Anything I can do, Tommy, because you are doing the Lord's work and you're trying to save your country. And let's be real, not all Muslims are bad, but we're seeing spikes in numbers. It's getting a little hairy. You know what I mean?
The good ones become irrelevant.
That's a good way of framing it. That's a good way of framing it. Yeah.
They're not stopping the bad ones. It's irrelevant. We can't allow it to take over our country. So thank you. Cheers, Alex.
Cheers, Tommy. Thank you. All right, guys. Tommy's a legend. The chat was going crazy for Tommy. Sorry, I wanted to get to you guys
Alex,
a little bit.
I got some super chats. Let's get through them real quick.
Blast through them.
PAG, SOS from the UK. Pimp on a Blimp needs to evacuate us from Gimp with a Limp. Prime Minister, please hurry. Aiden sent one in. Should Russia do a military intervention in the UK to liberate actual British, Gaelic, Anglo-Saxon hybrids from migrants?
That was Aiden that sent that? Who sent that?
That was Aiden.
He's higher.
Yeah. Scott Starboard, American Patriots fully support you, Tommy. We love you. What can Americans do to help? Makabala, we all need to get up, stand up for our rights. Not me, not Hermione, you. Pinkerton 7, Christ is King, Christ is Lord. Stephen Desrosier with $5. Thanks, guys.
Well, that was incredible having him on. We got tons of viewers. So what do you guys think about the Olympics, Lila? Have you been watching it at all?
No.
Curveball.
You guys haven't watched it at all?
Yes, of course.
No, I mean,
haven't been
be
watching it at
honest.
all.
You didn't watch one event.
No, nothing.
What?
Not interested.
Not the women's, not the
my
transgender
God.
boxers.
No, I mean I've just seen it. No, I'm focused on my own life. Okay, I'm out here.
It's some form of unity that finally gives us some joy.
Thank you, Lauren.
That's
Some
nice.
peace in a world full of chaos and sick. I'm literally still clenching my clitoris right now.
Wait, don't clench your clitoris. What is going
my
on?
God.
Okay.
It just was horrible just to hear it. It's just.
Before you
shooting me
say
with money?
anything, so you guys don't know a damn thing about Amin Khalif or Lin Yuting?
Absolutely do. Is she a woman or a man with the XY chromosome?
See?
So-
Lauren knows. Do you not have any idea?
I do. I saw that. Okay, and you know, I find it funny that now everybody cares if she's a woman or a man, and before we didn't know what a woman was, and now everybody seems to know.
What is a man is the new question, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
What is a man?
Apparently, somebody that used to be able to put in jail if you hit a woman, but now you get a gold medal.
Yeah, and if you're trans, you can actually go to the female prison. You know, there's been multiple transgender prisoners that have gotten women pregnant.
Oh, I absolutely believe it.
You know, it's real. And you can look it up. There's one in New Jersey. So to celebrate, guys, I bet on Lin Yuting and Amin Khalifa. And the Olympics end, I believe, this Sunday. Is that correct?
Yep.
Well, my bets have not landed yet, but we're going to do what is it when you do it before something, Jimmy? Preemptive celebration?
Preemptive.
Preemptive, is that right?
Yeah.
Prelude celebration, preemptive celebration, is that right, Lila?
Mature.
Well, we're gonna premature. That's the word I was thinking about. Premature celebration.
That's how you got here.
Stop
honey.
playing the splooge song. That is how I got here. My dad prematured, but it's not. Thank God for it.
God.
Thank God for his
National
sensitivity.
treasure.
Yeah, very good. Well, I bet a lot of money on Amin Khalifa and Lin Yuting in a parlay. They both need to win gold. So if they don't both win gold, I lose. But if they win gold, I'll be a thousandaire.
Wow.
Wow. I can make it rain, baby.
And real quick, Lila, actually, before we make it rain, it's funny you say that. It's International Cat Day, Lila. And what do you think about all the people that are eating cats in the Philippines right now?
I think it's great.
No!
Why not? Have
you had cat? You've had dog, but you haven't had.
No, I'm more of a dog eater than I am.
But you haven't had
cat
cat, but they sell it next to them. If you go online, you type in Yulin Dog Meat Festival. There's menus at the Dog Meat Festival, and it'll have like golden retriever, like a pretty looking cat.
Wow, I'd eat it.
You would eat a cat?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Would you eat a cat, Lauren?
God, no.
Really? If you were in a
I
life
hate
or
them.
death situation?
No, we're not in a life or death
we're not
situation. Do
doing
not
that.
put that hypothetical. That's a
I'm in one
convoluted
every day on
analogy.
6th
That's too
Street.
convoluted. You're not. You're on vacation and you're with your family and you want to try the local
starve.
cuisine.
Yeah, why not? I would do it. I would eat frog legs too.
Eat guinea pigs in Peru.
So you put and you know it's funny. I have a pet turtle, so a lot of people eat turtle soup.
I would eat a turtle.
Yeah. Would you eat a turtle, Lauren?
What, are you starving? What are you have a husband? Does he not feed you?
She eats. She just eats. She's a hungry girl.
I just, I'd like to try different cuisines.
Would you eat human? Chrissy Teigen says you'd eat human.
Pull an Army Hammer.
You better answer this correct. Would you eat human, Lila?
No, I would not eat
Thank
human. That's where
God.
I draw the line, okay?
That has to be the line. That's a Hannibal Lecter. Okay.
Chickens for KFC.
Well,
I mean, with just like a little bite or something. Like if it's a life.
You
or
would
death-
take a bite. That's exactly what Chrissy Teigen
They're
said.
on
It's like I wouldn't want to
Yellow
eat it, but I would take a
Jackets.
bite. You're a freak, Lila. You would take a bite of a human
And
being.
let's say if we were on a deserted island or plane crash, and I have to eat you.
You're on
because
Epstein Island, and they just barbecued a baby.
They barbecued you.
They barbecued me.
Yeah, because you didn't survive, and I
Yeah.
needed to eat to survive. That I would just chew your leg.
This is not good, Jimmy.
I have a
that we have-
cannibalist on my
Yeah,
show
we
on
let a cannibal-
Saturday.
Okay, guys, before we go, tell them where they can find us this weekend, Lauren.
At Hyenas in the Sundance Square in Fort Worth, Texas, 8 o'clock. It's me, Pimp on the Blimp, Spina Bifida Batty. We got Raphael Sanguili. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Raphael's
Yeah, and another previous Dallas comic turned Austinite. We need to put a wall up.
Woo.
Yeah.
Jordan Yates is coming as well. Yuck It Up Comedy.
Yuck it up, guys. We want to see you this Saturday in Fort Worth if you're in the area. Now, we have to bring on, for the final celebration, with the Olympics being over, we're going to prematurely celebrate my gambling victories by bringing on Dionysus.
$20 super chat. Botanical Gardens.
Oui, oui.
Here's another $20 to get real boxers. Quit with that and one shit. LOL.
Okay, so Lila, did you see Dionysus had their testicles out in the?
I saw the picture. Yeah, I was on
The
Twitter.
pole vault.
Yeah, well, and did you see the pole vaulter got his penis caught on the
Pole
thing?
got clipped by the pole. It clipped his pole. Basically.
If he had a smaller thing, he would have won gold.
Yeah, maybe Iman or
It's the
whatever.
only time a guy would ever win a small
Well, maybe he's won gold in life for that moment.
This is better than gray sweatpants. Holy shit.
Is there anything you want to say, Dionysus, before we finish
Aboriginal.
Well, I'm from France, and I love the Eiffel Tower, where I see the Pakistani immigrants that fight Tommy Robinson, assault little children.
Khaki.
Dionysus, you're Muslim? Is that what it is? That's what you're speaking of?
Oh, yes, the new Dionysus is from
I
Pakistan.
thought he was Greek.
No. This is the great replacement. The Pakistani replaced the Greeks, and we all name Muhammad.
All right. Well, guys, we end the show the same way every time with a freestyle finale. So, DJ, hit that beat. Me and Dionysus are going to twerk.
Wearing that Jew blue, baby.
Look at that. Got that Jew blue because I got all that money betting on all those transgender boxer. I don't give a damn because they hit way harder. Knock your ass out and we'll make you shout. When I bust you out, I'm gonna hit you for that count. I'm a pimp on a blimp and I bet on transgender. If you mess with me, I'll put you in the blender. Dionysus on the set. And I leave the ladies wet. Make sure to hit that like button. Thank you to Lila. Thank you to Lauren. Thank you to Tommy. If you guys want to come hang out with us this Saturday, Fort Worth, Texas, Pimp on a Blimp. Peace.
Nazi.